I believe Psalm 23 is probably one of the best known passages of Scripture, if not the best known. I think if we're honest, most of us would say that we would prefer that the second paragraph never come off the page and into our life. And I know I've struggled with that too. We all prefer the green pastures over the valley of the shadow of death. Definitely one of the green pastures for my life has been my 23 years that I was privileged to spend at His Hill, the Torchbearer Center in Texas. The majority of that time I was the principal and just wonderful fellowship with staff, camaraderie, and the students all those years were nothing but a blessing. And to tell you the truth, it was never my intention to leave. It was my plan to stay there, but the Lord changed all that pretty quickly. In the span of about 2 months, my dad had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and it was getting really bad. So my wife and I both believed that the Lord would have us go home and help the family with Dad, so that's what we did. He led me into the valley of the shadow of death. We got home to Louisiana and found that my dad was in pretty bad shape. And he needed a lot of care. He needed a watchful eye all the time. Then all of a sudden, my mom ended up diagnosed with chronic kidney failure, which meant that her kidneys were functioning at only 9%. I couldn't comprehend how somebody could even live like that. And it actually turned out in the long run that she needed more attention than my dad did. In the middle of all of this, the economy tanked in Louisiana because it's dependent on the price of the barrel of oil. And in 2014, that price plummeted. And the whole economy just collapsed. So I lost my job. I can remember days of waking up, laying in bed, just staring out the window, not even knowing what to do next. I didn't even know if it was worth getting out of bed, to tell you the truth. It got so bad, I can remember sitting on a couch upstairs and fighting the very real urge to just curl up in the fetal position and just quit. I walked into the living room one day and my family was sitting on the couch, and they didn't ask, they demanded that I sit down. My youngest daughter was the spokesperson. The family had decided it was time to deal with Dad, to confront him. And what she said is, "Dad, our whole life you've always said that Christ is to be our life. That He is our peace, He is our rest, He is our surety. And for years you've demonstrated that to us, but you're not doing that anymore. What's wrong?" And that was a sobering moment for me. And I'm thankful that the Lord brought it about. The Lord was clearly asking me a question. "Kelly, do you believe? Do you really believe that I'm sovereign? Do you really believe that I am the head of all rule and authority?" Colossians 2:10. "Yes, Lord, I do." "So then you believe that your dad getting sick, your mom getting sick, the economy collapsing, you losing your job, do you really believe that's not outside of my control?" "Yes, Lord, I believe that." "Then Kelly, let me take it." It was then at that moment that the Lord began to show me what He was doing. That the valley, the shadow of death, was just as sweet of a place to be as the green pasture, because the shepherd was still there. I mean, isn't it how it reads? He says, "I will fear no evil because you are with me." It's your rod and it's your staff that comfort me. And so now, whether I'm in the green pasture or in the valley of the shadow of death, I have to tell you, it's the best place to be, because my shepherd is with me.